Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about ear training. I don't think that ear training has the place it deserves within music education. Far from it. I think there is this notion that yes, total aural recognition, a perfect pitch is something nice to have, but they're really something that you're either born with or you're not born with. And therefore, I think it's perceived as something that it would be really hard to improve on, a tough skill to learn. And therefore, there is, I guess, this view that a learner is far better off just focusing on other areas of the learning field, like improvisation, technique, sight reading. Now, while technique, sight reading, improvisation are all really extremely important while learning music, they are no match with having a total grasp of exactly what sound you're going to get if you put your finger here or here or here. That's far more important. Now, I agree that some people are born with a greater inclination towards music compared to other people, but I know for sure that aural skills can be learned and improved on. I, for one, have always been aware of having a good music ear, and for a long time fellow musicians used to point out just how lucky I was, that I could find all chords really quickly and learn a lot of new songs really quickly. And yes, I would reply that I consider myself very lucky and that I felt blessed for having, I guess, this easier, quick access into the world of music. But if I really think hard about how my aural skills function and how I came to acquire them, a few simple truths start emerging that seem to contradict the old adage that having a good ear is a native ability. Number one, my capacity to recognize sounds and notes is not always at the same level. If I spend 2 full days working on transcribing solos, transposing melodies, improvising, in that case my aural skills are really top-notch. They're really well oiled and well trained. And if I don't listen to music for a whole week, or if I don't touch the piano for a whole week, then I may actually find myself in a position where I have hard time recognizing a fourth interval from a fifth interval. Number two, my aural skills were not as good as they are now when I was born. I worked at them incessantly through time. I didn't necessarily do this in a conscious way, as in try to improve them, trying to make them better. I remember being maybe 7 or 8, sitting at the back of my parents' car, listening to music, and maybe I had started piano lessons 6 months before or something like that. But anyway, I was sitting at the back of my parents' car, listening to music, desperately trying to name all the notes that I could hear in the melody. And I would use this system of filling the gaps between the notes. I will release a separate video on this technique at some point later, which in my opinion this is the best technique to actually improve our aural skills. Just to give you a very rough idea, if I heard a melody like this, now I remember trying to position this melody in a way that I could be able to name all the notes, and the fewer sharps and flats the better. So I would automatically try to think that melody in a C major key. So I would probably go E, B, E, F, E, D, E, but or I might think of it as in A, E, A, B flat, A, G, A, this time allowing for one flat. But the point is, I needed to create some sort of a mathematical equation in my mind, and I needed to solve it. So I kind of had to name the first note and then work out all the subsequent notes by working out a relative kind of step up, step down thinking. And then in the end, when I would reach the final note, I would then match that note to the first. So I would have to try and retain in my mind, in my memory, the sound of the first note, and then I would have to match the first and the last. And if they matched, then I would know. That's why I talked about a mathematical equation. Then I would know that, you know, that my reasoning was correct and my relative pitch kind of reasoning was correct. So in this case, well, since I don't have perfect pitch, by now the actual height of that melody is gone. If I don't press the E, I won't have it anymore, but it doesn't matter. So it's probably going to be, you know, shifted down or shifted up, but that doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is that my relative pitch has been growing stronger and stronger thanks to this exercise and other techniques as well, which we'll see in other videos as well. But yeah, going back to the melody, for instance, for me would be, and I would, as I said earlier, just fill the gaps. So if I call the first one E, B, so E, D, C, B, C, D, E, F, E, D, E. But the point is that oral skills can, without a doubt, be improved. And improving them should become a priority for every serious music learner, because at the end of the day, music is perceived and enjoyed primarily by the hearing system. And therefore, yes, it is important to develop technique, visual patterns and body memory. Nonetheless, the true meaning of music must be within that experience that accompanies the process, the actual process of hearing the music. And the more conscious, the more aware we are of what it is that it's happening in the music, in musical terms, you know, the greater the significance that we will find in a piece of music. Well, at least this is my personal opinion. You guys let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or if you disagree, and how you think that ear training should rank in music education. Well, that's all for today. Please like this video if you happen to like it and consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.